Ms. Amy L. Groves, candidate for State Assembly, District 29. Ms. Groves, if you'd like, our candidate here today, would like to give you an opening statement. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. My name is Amy Groves. I'm running for Assembly District 29 in Henderson. I'm running as a conservative because I feel it's really important that we get the conservative swing back in. Our state's become very, liberal, I would say, in the last few years, and I just want to be able to bring that voice of reason and common sense back to the legislature. My husband is military, retired Army. I come from a long line of military family, so I'm just excited to be here today. Thank you.
All right. I guess we can start with Mr. Jones. First question. You have 30 seconds. 1 minute to answer.
Excuse me. Thank you very much, Amy, for attending this afternoon. So with there's the decision of our great governor getting us into the state exchange, the federal government said that they would pick up 98% of the cost for the first 2 years. However, now we're going into year 3, we're not going to get that 98% reimbursement from the federal government. So we're looking at a $4 million shortfall in the Nevada state budget in order to make up for that state exchange cost. There's been several mentions of people I've interviewed on the radio show on the Democrat side about raising taxes even more to make up for that $4 million shortfall. What could you do from, if elected, to get people like my mom that rely on that, Democrats telling them that, you know what, they're going to take it away because the Republicans aren't going to fund it because they're too afraid of tax increases? What would you say to those people that, in a sense, the Democrats are trying to scare off?
Well, that's a common tactic. They do like to say Republicans don't like tax increases. They also don't want to talk about any reform in our budget. If this is something that we're obligated to do, we have to pay for it. And you're either going to have to raise a tax to pay for it, or you're going to have to cut a service somewhere along the way or a department in order to pay for it. That's just the way it goes if we're obligated to continue it in the way we are. And we all saw that coming. Honestly, we knew it would only be 98% for 2 years. And in 5 years, we have to pay that much more of it. We have to plan for it.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but in Clark County, there's been a spike in crime. And we're also a sanctuary county, which means we don't turn over felons to, or people charged with felonies. We don't turn them over to ICE. You see any connection there? And as an assembly, if you're elected to the assembly, would you do anything about that? And how would you fight crime?
Well, it's a twofold question. One is, I do not believe in sanctuary cities. I think we need to stop that immediately. And if someone is here, undocumented, then they do need to be handled in that sense. And crime is definitely on a spike. And it's unfortunate that sometimes we're still hearing the police saying they need more money in order to fight crime, and they're going to, they stop responding to certain calls. And we actually need to get them to do what we need them to do. They do have budgets, they do have funding, and they do need to take care of our citizens. Please.
Good afternoon, Amy. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for being here. My name is Robert Faust. Would like to ask you where you're at. Go ahead.
No, she was just setting it.
I would like to ask you where you're at on women's rights to abortion, and would you defund Planned Parenthood if you could?
The simple answer is yes. I don't believe the federal government should be giving any entity private money, so I would be in defunding. They would absolutely survive. They're a well-known marketing machine. They get plenty of money, and people pay for their services. I'm sorry, the second part of that question, I went on defunding. Oh, whether I support it or not. There are times when it's necessary. I'm overall a pro-life person. I think, unless there truly is a health risk or there's a rape, there's always going to be an exception, but overall I don't believe in abortion.
Len Connell, and thanks for being our sole attendee for your assembly district today. My question is, what would you do to bring in new business and industry into the state without doing like the governor did, pay for his dates and basically lose money on bringing in 2 electric car companies?
We have so much to offer in Nevada. I don't believe we need to give away taxes or give abatements or incentives to get companies to come here. When you look around our states around us in California, we have such a pro-business environment here that we just need to start advertising and talking and recruiting people to come here. We have the land, we have the buildings, we have the environment, we have the people. I think we're ready for it. We just need to say, come here and we will help you. We will help you not with incentives, but we have everything else you need to survive and thrive in business here.
Next question.
Hi, Amy Broncu. My question is, you run against your opponent again last primary, right, in 2014. And of course, you end up winning the general election, and a few months later, we feel betrayed because we thought, those tax increases not going to happen. What would you do different this election cycle so you can be the one in the general election?
You know, very easily, last campaign, it got a bit negative. I mean, on both sides. There were items made up about me. We were hitting with hit pieces against him. We need to keep it about the issues. And fortunately for me, he has a voting history that didn't speak to my Republican conservative heart at all. He voted for 30 of 32 new taxes, and that's the only thing I have to go on this time. I mean, really, his voting record is the only reason why I ran again. He represented me also, and he did not represent me anywhere near the way I needed to be represented. So I decided to take him on again.
Stop.
Jason Stoffel, attorney. Commerce tax, good idea or bad idea?
Bad idea. I definitely am helping to repeal this. I take out the forms. I'm a notary for a lot of them. We need to repeal this. And my fear is now that it's in there, the next session, we're going to see that threshold of $4 million get lowered down to, $2 million, $1 million. I don't think it matters. There's a whole new source of revenue there. And this tax speaks to my entrepreneurial heart the most. This kills ambition. It doesn't take a lot for a small business to get to $4 million to hit that threshold. And I just think it's an ambition killer, and it's a tax that was sold as one to support the children and made everyone feel guilty about it. But unfortunately, this tax went to the general fund. There was nowhere in the law that said it must go to education. So I'm all about repealing it. I don't think we need it, and I hope that when the Supreme Court talks about whether their repeal can go forward next month, I hope they let it. I hope they let them go gather signatures and get it on the ballot.
Hi, Mike Edwards, U.S. Marine, disabled vet from Desert Storm, and I'm president of the Banditos Motorcycle Club here in Las Vegas. You seem very knowledgeable about some of the stuff that I haven't brought up before because I wanted to check on that. We have a lot of hazardous road conditions here in Las Vegas. Potholes, broken pavement, trenched pavement, etc. It affects motorcycle riders much more than our cars. Lots of roads haven't been surfaced in years. The roads can cause crashes, grabbing tires, etc. Road during dusk, even more dangerous. And there's multiple lawsuits I researched against municipalities for these types of accidents can cost millions. A lot of their responses, we didn't know about them, or they defer to Las Vegas paving, and they say, well, we didn't know, we can't fix it. Is there a general fund to resurface our broken roads? How is the priority set? And it's been brought up many times in the meetings that I have. Why not have a website where people can write in or take pictures or say, hey, this road is here, this road is here, needs to be fixed, or we could actually make it, the police, while they're driving around or sitting around, a lot of times they could actually contribute to this, and at least then they can't say, well, we didn't know about it, we didn't have anything to do with it, it's not our fault.
I completely understand this. As a Harley rider, I have a Softail Deluxe. Woo! I completely know this issue because as we're riding around, if you're in 4 wheels and you hit a pothole, you're overall going to be okay. If you're on 2 wheels and you hit a pothole, you're down, and it's going to be painful. And over the years, my husband and I, as we're out, we'll see things that are bad, and we'll take a picture, and we'll send them in to NDOT, and we're like, you have a problem here. Nobody cares. I've never found the process that you can send it in and have it get fixed. And it's really frustrating because you hear about motorcycle riders all the time going down. And when we get fatalities and we get people that will no longer ride again, and I don't believe we have a process to get these fixed. They do have money to fix. This is part of our general fund. One of the main things that we're supposed to take care of is our roads. That's what the government was created for, with these common elements. And I think we need to fix that. There needs to be a place where citizens, we can just upload a photo and say, hey, you've got a problem here, or else no one cares. But if we have enough people put in on the same pothole, well, let's get it fixed. And when we send that picture in, they've got to tell us how long. Is it going to take 5 days, 20 days? Do we just not have any money and we're never going to fix it? We need to know what's going on there. And I don't think there's a process right now. So I would try, I would definitely try.
Do you have a solution?
No, I think actually having a website with a portal where you can upload photos, because we're all out there every single day, and the people that are in charge of the budgets or the people fixing the roads, they're not on the roads every day like all of us are. They need to give us a spot where we can say, here's a problem, and then they can just go out and fix it.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy, to something more. Thank you for showing up today. Where do you fall on the ESAs, the Education Savings Accounts, the vouchers? What is your stand on that?
Oh, I really like them. I think parents should have a choice in where their kids go to school and how they're educated. And the $5,100 or approximately that they were going to pull out was great. It's a great start. And I was talking to a few of my clients that didn't know about it when they commit them in like their HOA payments. They were so excited because across the lines, every economic diverse couples in this, or parents in this state, they were using this. They were pulling their kids and going to the monasteries, all the different schools they could. They were excited. And it still left more money in the Clark County School District because each child, I believe, is allotted about $11,000, and they were pulling out $5,100 for the year to give to the parents. My only thing that I really didn't care for was the 100 days that your child had to be in public school. I understand it so they could get federal money. I get the reasons. I just wish it didn't have to be there.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy. I'm Scott LaFato, Conservatives for Energy and Freedom. I had to step out of the room for a moment, so if you've already been asked this question, tell me. Well, we've got another one, but what's your position on legalizing recreational marijuana?
Well, personally, I wouldn't be a consumer of it, but I don't believe government needs to regulate every single thing we do. So with that, I would support it, but we do need to have a way to treat it like alcohol, if you will. So if you're driving under the influence, there just needs to be a way or a limit that you can't be such a user that you're going to hurt other people. But I don't think government should be involved.
Tipitar, U.S. Army political activist. So I'm going to give you a hypothetical because I see a lot of states versus federal kind of back and forth. It's their ball, our ball, what have you. Let's say a congressman comes to you and says, hey, how do I help the state of Nevada? I want to work with the state of Nevada, the Assembly. What's an issue we can work on to get that cooperation through federal and state legislation? What's the one issue you think you can really help a potential congressman to get that divide kind of closed?
Wow, we really don't talk between federal and state at all. I would like to think they would help us out with land. That would be the biggest communication. So many people want our lands back in Nevada, and we do need our federal congressman's help on that.
So it would be land rights?
Definitely land rights, they could help us out a lot.
Thank you.
Over the last, excuse me, my name is Patrick Cassell. The last couple of years, the perception of law enforcement is very, very negative. Especially, I am a youth coach right now. And it's interesting because recently I heard one of my players see a police officer giving somebody a ticket and immediately thought the police officer was bad. The negative. If you were in a position, what would you do to change that perception and get the youth to look at police officers with the same respect that I did as a youth, or somebody over 40?
Sure, I take that. A couple of weeks ago, I actually got pulled over for a speeding ticket, and he got me out. I was speeding. I wasn't going to try and get my way out of it, but I literally was quiet. And here I am, a 45-year-old woman, and I'm like, I better be quiet. I don't want to get in trouble. I've never had that thought before. So if I'm having it now, whereas a kid, I never had that. The police were our friends. We need to get the police back out into our communities, back into the schools to do community outreach. We need to get these kids understand they're people too. And, but to go with that, the cops that do something wrong, and I know it's a small percentage like every industry, they need to be punished. And so if the kids can see, well, hey, someone did something wrong, they got in trouble, it's not everybody. So they have to understand anything bad that happens, it's just a small percentage. And we need these kids to meet the cops and understand they're doing a job. And they're overall doing a great service for our community.
Hi, Amy, Fred Conquest, Citizens for a Better America. Healthcare in Nevada is sort of abysmal, and the exchange that they have is basically just raising rates and getting insurers to bail out. What problem, it's a big problem, but what's your solution, or what would you be in favor of doing if you're elected?
Well, there's so many things there I could answer on. I mean, we have to change this. As a small business owner, a few years ago, 2 years ago specifically, we never were big enough to have a group policy. So I would have my employees go out on the open market, buy insurance, and I would write a check for their insurance. Under the Obamacare and the state exchange rules, I can no longer do that. So it's very strange that I'm hiring people and I'm paying them $50,000 plus a year, and they have to go on the state exchange and get insurance. So we need to let more options happen. We need to cross state lines. We need to get what's best for our employees, and we need to get the premiums down. The premiums, from my firsthand experience, have gone up from roughly $200 a month for an individual to over $600 a month for an individual. The price that they went up so fast, there's no way that people can even afford them. And then if they can afford the premiums, they can't afford the deductibles. This Obamacare has radically changed how we view healthcare in the last 2 years. Honestly, we need to unwind it, and we need to start over, because we have failed miserably on giving people quality healthcare.
Any other questions from the?
I'd like to ask a quick question, sir.
Yes, gentlemen.
Hi, how are you again? Mike Edwards. Quick question. The VA is a federal institution. We have lots of problems with it here in Las Vegas. Would you be for or against having a local VA representative maybe paid for by the city to help our local constituents and our local veterans here that are having problems, that are having very long wait times, that are, I work a lot with the homeless vets and many veteran situations, they have problems. We have veterans suicide hotlines where people are being put on hold. A paid city employee that is actually a direct contact to some of our local vets, just to get them some help, just to help them, it's a voice to them, because, my wife, thank God, helps with all the stuff I have to do, and I couldn't do half the paperwork that I have to do because I don't have time. I have a job. I get called in for an appointment. I take the day off work. I get in, they cancel my appointment. So I just lost $300 to go on something I have to go, even though I have a civilian doctor. I'm mandated to go certain times a year for my disability. Having someone here that's just going to listen, that's going to help, that can actually do some of the legwork for them, have a connection to the VA itself.
I would support that. What we do to our vets, honestly, is just horrible. But I can speak from firsthand experience. I'm a member of American Legion Post 40 out in Henderson, the auxiliary.
Post 8.
Well, that's the wrong.
We're all the same. Come on.
But, and I know, and Post 8 has it too. We have on site, we've got a guy who handles the VA. So if we have a vet come through the door at no charge at all, and our guy's a volunteer, he'll help you get through that system. And these guys are really great. So the vets have to understand also there are so many entities out there at VFW, American Legions, I think we have 5 or 6 of them here. There are people that will help today without making a new department of it. People just have to get the word out that they can help you with the VA, because it's horrible. I am so thankful every day that I'm married to someone who's retired military, that I don't have to go through that VA system, and neither does he. Because we get a whole different level of care. And I don't understand why the VA is not getting the same care that we're getting. It's the same facility, it's the same hospitals. Why are we treating each part of it different when at the end of the day, you guys did the service. You did everything we wanted you to do, and yet we're treating you differently. I don't understand that. And I think we've got to do something to improve it.
I do a follow-up. I'd like to do a follow-up on that issue. The fact that the VA, the federal government, has failed to take care of our veterans, obviously, is costing us as taxpayers to take care of homeless, jails, prosecutors, healthcare that's resulting from their failure with UMC. It's costing our state and the states across this country a lot of money. Would you sign off on a plan for our Attorney General to sue the federal government for reimbursement of the money that's costing our state for failing to take care of our veterans?
Yeah, but we need to take it a step further. We need to sue them to make them do what they're obligated to do to our vets. So it's twofold. It's about money, but it's also about the care. I
Right,
would support that, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none. At this time, you have 30 seconds for a closing statement.
Great. Thank you so much. It's great to be here today. I'm really saddened that my opponents didn't come because both of the Democrat and the Republican running are incumbents, and I think you guys would have been able to ask them some great questions. But I will always be here and give opinions and tell you what I think, what I would want to do. And I do believe we need to go back to a conservative. Our pendulum swung so far. We need to come back and we need to be about the people in Nevada. I know we can do it, and there's a lot of great people out there running. And I'm Amy Groves. Feel free to visit me at my website at amygroves.org. Thank you very much.